Imagine this. You are a trained soldier, you have a machine gun, you are backed by the government. And who is your enemy? It's a 6 foot tall bird. Now imagine that after weeks flying, the birds are still running free, your mission is a failure, and newspaper are making fun of you. It sounds like a comedy movie, but this is actually a true story. It actually happened. In 1932, the Australian government launched a military operation against thousands of emus that were destroying farmland. The soldiers had machine guns, the emus had legs, and somehow the emus won. This is the unbelievable true story of the Great Emu War. Chapter 1. Why were they fighting birds? To understand the Emu War, we need to go back to the early 1930s. Australia was struggling through the Great Depression. Many former soldiers from World War I had become farmers in Western Australia. Life was already difficult, crop prices were all-time low, money was tight. Then another problem arrived. About 20,000 emus. Emus are large flightless birds native to Australia. They can grow nearly 2 meters tall and run at speeds of around 50 kilometers per hour. Every year, large groups migrated across the country. But in 1932, thousands of emus began moving through farming areas. And they were hungry. The birds smashed through fences, trampled crops, and created openings that allowed rabbits to enter fields and cause even more damage. Farmers watched months of hard work disappear. They needed help. And they had an unusual idea. Why not ask the military to solve this issue? Chapter 2. Australia declares war. The farmers contacted the government and requested military assistance. Surprisingly, the government agreed. After all, many of these farmers were war veterans. Officials believed machine guns could solve the problem quickly. Just take your machine guns and kill all the emus. The military sent soldiers led by Major Meredith, if I'm pronouncing it right. They arrived carrying Levis machine guns and thousands of rounds of ammunition. The mission sounded simple. Find the birds, shoot them at the site. But the soldiers quickly discovered something. Emus don't behave like enemy troops. They are much harder to predict. When the soldiers first located a large group of birds and opened fire, the emus scattered. Instead of staying together, they broke into smaller groups and ran in different directions. The soldiers had expected easy targets. Instead, they found fast-moving birds spreading across huge areas. Chapter 3. Everything goes wrong. Things got even worse. At one point, soldiers set up an ambush near a dam where emus regularly gathered. Hundreds of birds approached. This was the perfect opportunity. They got a perfect chance to execute their idea. The soldiers waited. The birds got closer. The machine guns opened fire. And then the guns jammed. Many emus escaped before significant damage could be done. Another time, soldiers mounted a machine gun on a truck to chase the birds. It sounded brilliant until the truck couldn't keep up. The terrain was rough. The vehicle bounced violently. The gunners struggled to aim, and thus emus simply outran them. Imagine being a professional soldier chasing giant birds across the Australian countryside while newspapers prepare jokes about you. The operation became increasingly frustrating. Major Meredith later described how some emus seemed almost impossible to stop. According to reports, even injured birds sometimes continued running long distances. The soldiers fired thousands of rounds, but the results were disappointing. Chapter 4. The emus became famous. News of operation spread across Australia. People couldn't believe what they were hearing. A modern military force was struggling against mere birds. Newspapers had a field day. Articles mocked the operation. Cartoonists joked about heroic emu armies defeating the mighty Australian army, that is, the human invaders. The public found this whole situation hilarious. Questions were being asked. Why was the government spending their hard-earned money and military resources on this? And why wasn't it working? After weeks of criticism, the operation was stopped. Or should I say, the government had to stop. The soldiers withdrew. The emus remained. From a public relations perspective, it was a disaster. The birds had become legends. Chapter 5. Did the emus really win? Now let's be fair. The emus didn't exactly conquer Australia. The emu bird didn't want to rule over Australia. And they certainly weren't planning military strategies. But the military operation failed to achieve its goals. The goal that was to kill all the emu birds. The plan was failed. The military operation failed to achieve its goals. The birds continued migrating through farming areas. The government eventually relied on different methods, including fencing and bounty programs, rather than military action. So when people say Australia lost a war against emus, it's partly a joke. But it's a joke based on a real event. A government sent soldiers with machine guns and lots of rounds of ammunition just to stop a bird problem. The operation failed, the birds carried on, and nearly a century later, the world still laughs about it. Not many animals can claim victory over an army, that too a mighty Australian army. The birds carried on, and not many can claim victory over an army, but emus can, and that is the true bizarre story of Great Emu War. A battle where one side had machine guns and the other side had feathers and legs. If you enjoyed this story and want such more strange, unbelievable events from history, please like, share and subscribe, and I will meet you guys in the next video.